Today?
Yeah, we're all set. I know. I don't know what.
I think maybe Wednesdays would be better.
Wednesdays we're doing.
Okay.
Okay, for
So
sure.
we'll start Wednesday next.
I remember last semester, all them semesters, Leslie needed to change it to Fridays, and then I just got used to it. But okay.
Okay, so Wednesday might be
Sure.
easier for people.
And then I'll make sure that I also send out a newsletter. Like I said, I tried, but for some reason the dashboard was down,
The first one.
and I was just so out of it. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Is it stuck? Let me see.
Yeah, people are probably getting ready for the weekend.
Oh, we give it 5 more minutes. So.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna see if Roseanne has any jelly beans. I'll be right back.
About an hour average,
What is?
the class?
Probably, yeah, a little bit longer, but you can just leave whenever you gotta leave.
Yeah, we're gonna record them, so
Oh,
we'll put it
okay.
up on the dashboard. We're in the process of putting them all. from
Did
the-
you record the agent last Monday?
Mhm.
Ah,
We're in
awesome.
the process of editing
Okay.
it right
Okay,
now.
'cause I missed that one. I like those.
Can they hear us right now? Is anyone even there?
One person, your dad's there. I can mute it if you'd like.
Like, can we make it maximum full screen?
Well, she wants to use this PowerPoint now.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Elizabeth. You coming?
Your pen dropped.
Thank you.
This is Jillian.
Hi, Jillian. How are you?
Hi.
Matt.
Nice to meet you.
Hi,
Elizabeth.
Jillian. Hi.
Elizabeth. Nice to meet
How
you.
are
I
you?
don't know if
Nice
you
to
guys
meet
know
you.
Janet.
Hi. I don't think I did.
Yeah,
Elizabeth, how are you?
Hi, Jen. Matt Marsh. How are you?
Matt, you go ahead. Yeah.
I feel
Janet's taking over our modern family division.
Oh.
I'm sorry?
Janet's taking over our modern family.
Modern family.
You do the class?
For single sex parents.
Oh, sorry, I know it's not.
Want to make an activity slide?
Hey. You know,
So, you know, single sex parents have their own.
Absolutely. So kind of specialized. That'll be your niche.
Mhm.
Fran
It is
and
a,
Rink,
yeah.
Zinka used to do it, and then they moved.
Right.
And it looks like a
I
person.
actually helped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff up on Instagram. I think I'm getting quite a good view, and it's just gonna take time to.
Sorry.
I just came from a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Who's a recent single. Help her
Oh,
create
no.
this whole thing. You know, it's different.
Oh, no, I'm good.
So I mean, it's nothing.
Rick, it looks like you and me.
How am I gonna be on this?
It came from, you know,
No one's saying here. I have to do something.
but I mean, that one in particular.
So how do you want to, I have a lot of slides today that I worked on,
Yeah.
but how do you want to structure it today? Just want to play off of each other and,
Yeah, you start.
okay,
Yeah,
sure.
so it's good.
No, actually, I've heard. Your first name?
Hey, Amanda,
For some other cards to come in.
Yeah.
Colleen,
Connecticut Modern Family.
this is Jillian here. She just joined us.
We can't really see. It's a minimal screen right now. Here, let me
So you
try.
don't see our screen?
Yeah, let me just give it a go here real quick.
I'm gonna go behind.
Thanks.
Hey,
I'm
sure.
glad you
For a rubber band.
Do you want to come over here?
Yeah, I'm gonna, Oh, is that one open?
Yeah.
oh, I thought somebody put it back.
Almost looks like so.
That's just me.
Good, how are you?
So we lost for it, and it was
What if you right click it?
Oh my
Fair Howard, something like that.
Try.
Elizabeth, this is such a, no, here, but this is for right now. But I have, no, I have more in the car, that's where I left them, yeah.
Hmm.
What time is it now? I guess we can get
1:06.
going. Let's get going. Anybody comes in, comes in.
I'm so surprised it's that small.
It's
You guys can hear us okay?
the screen, and that's
Yeah,
why
we can hear
she
you.
wants the PowerPoint. And when
Are you
have
gonna be able to see what's on the PowerPoint?
Yes, we can see it.
what you want.
They
Okay.
should be able to, right?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you, Marina, for
Sure.
putting
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah. Anyone else, the water?
No, thanks, man.
All right. All right, fantastic. Hi, everyone. My name is Kelly. I'm eating jelly beans, so what I'm going to do is stop eating jelly beans, and we can just go around the room and just briefly introduce ourselves. Around your room, around this room. You guys want to start in Stanford?
Okay.
We'll come back to them. They
Okay.
When I ran out for.
All right. Matt, you want to start?
Matt Murray Higgins. I can say I've been with Higgins since 2005. How's that?
Been that long, 14 years.
It's just terroristic, isn't it?
Wonderful.
Janet Maya. I've been with you, I think, for maybe, I moved here 4 years ago, so.
About 4 years, yeah.
Elizabeth Steffen, 18 years.
Wow,
18 years you're here?
Wow.
I met Elizabeth when she was taking her class.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
Yep.
I don't know if we
Yeah,
met
they don't.
before.
They actually don't allow that anymore. You know,
No,
right?
they
At the
don't.
classes,
Because of the
he was
enrollment.
greeting everybody as they graduated. Hi, I'm Rick Higgins.
Well, I come in, they used to have me come in and I talk about what you want to look for in a real estate company.
Yeah.
And we were getting so many agents, they all started complaining, the other companies, I had to stop. So,
I love
He
your
was
method.
poaching.
I love your method. It's great. It's great. My name is Kelly Hadous, and I am the communication and performance coach, and I teach here twice a month. And I have been with Higgins for about 3 years.
Kelly,
Hi, Jillian just joined.
about 2 weeks ago, she's already got she's been calling every day, expired listings.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And she's got
awesome.
two big leads in Greenwich already, 9 million and 3 million.
Holy cow! Wow,
Okay, yeah.
that's
First
awesome. Awesome.
Come on over, buddy.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Tara, and I've been with full time since 2015 when I moved out from California, but I've been in a referral program before that. But I've known Rick a long time.
You have.
Great company.
And Chris just walked in.
Yeah, parking was.
No, don't worry about
Oh, we
that,
all
just
just
say your
walked in.
name and.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Chris. I'm out of the Trumbull office extensively, even though I work at my home most of the time. I've been with Higgins Group since 2013. I'm not the most active agent, but I keep up, go to open houses, do open houses.
You're reliable.
Yeah, I'm still
so-
alive.
And you're here. I appreciate that.
So,
Okay, why don't we get you guys now? Where is everybody? Where do they all go?
You want to start? You want to introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. Hi, Andre Balaj, in the Stanford office. Been doing real estate for about 8 years. In row, we're gonna learn more stuff, so looking forward to today.
My name is Richard Higgins. I'm the managing director here in Stanford and Greenwich, and I'm excited for today's class. And I'll throw it over to Caroline.
Hi, I'm Caroline Gertin. I'm with the Stanford Group, and I joined last spring in March, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I have a lot to
We're
learn.
only French Canadian.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Is Amanda there?
Yeah, she's in the other room. She's talking to Jordan, but we have Amanda Huntington here. She's been with us for about 6-7 months now, and she's based out of the Greenwich Stanford office. So here she is.
Great.
Okay, fantastic. Well, welcome again, everyone. Today, what we're going to cover is just go over some strategies, and Rick and I usually play off of each other. So I talk a lot about communication, public speaking, presentation skills, and strategy. And what Rick usually fills in with is just his genius.
Well,
And
we're going to be talking about selling today, all facets of selling. Because selling is selling. And selling is different in real estate. It's more educating or slightly persuading. or painting a verbal picture, and that's selling in real estate.
Right. So I put on a slide here. Can you X out low system resources may affect your audio quality? Marina, is Marina there? Who's my driver there?
I am. What do you want me to X out of?
It says low. Oh, that's us.
Yeah.
Hold on. Sorry. That's us. I'm sorry. Where's the mouse?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Okay, got it. Sorry about that. Okay, so great salespeople influence, lead, sell, shift perceptions, make a difference, help solve problems, impact their community. So great sales is about how do we influence others, because people never want to be sold to. They want to feel as if they've come up with a solution sort of on their own. And so what we do is we help them by us having a strong objective and by us having great interpersonal skills. So when I say objective, what is it that you want? What is it that you're there for? You know, that's important because that becomes a driver. So we're going to be talking about objectives today, audience analysis, you know, who is your audience, doing perhaps an elevator pitch, and then talking about the psychology. So the next slide, lose the room. So next slide, who's ever driving? So losing the room. You know, if you're ever at an event, networking, or at someone's home, or at a party, or just at an open house that you're hosting, talking about yourself, being closed-minded, being closed-ended, having a negative attitude is not going to help in any stretch of the imagination. We'll talk about that more. Next slide. But what does win the room is sharing information, being a thought leader, helping people think through, giving them ideas, helping them with thoughtfulness, being caring, and being all about them, and then commenting and having a conversation based off of, you know, their needs. So next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so great sales is about great communication. It's all about being present, clear, and making a connection. Again, being present means being in the moment. Clear means having a really straightforward objective, and then how will you go and meet it. For me, clarity is what is the strategy, right? What is that from A to B to C to D? And then making a connection, that's about emotions. And that's about interpersonal skills. How do we connect with others? We do that through tone. We do that through mirroring, using some of their language. We do that through emotions. We do that through body language. We do that through so many things. And we're going to touch upon that today. Next slide, please. So authentic, yes, we know that. Next slide. Thank you. Who's ever driving, thank you. Okay, so I put this down because I thought it was important. You know, be purpose-driven. Remember why you do what you do. Focus on doing one thing really, really well. You know, whatever it is that you bring to the table, whatever it is that makes you unique, that makes you stand out, and that makes you more saleable for your audience, because they can see now how you're different, and that difference will help them. It will be, you're being solution minded, right? So be optimistic. In sales, there's always roadblocks. There's always emotional stuff that comes up, even our personal lives that come into play. But when we're dealing with a client, a potential client, we must remain in the moment. And when we're in the moment, we can be more optimistic because we're thinking more about the other person rather than about ourselves, what's going on with us, or when am I going to make a sale? Damn it, I haven't made a sale yet. Right? We don't want to bring that into the conversation. We want it to be all about them and truly in the moment, and stay humble, always be curious, eager to learn, you know, coming to classes or reading new material or reading the papers, or, you know, I know some of you guys are really seasoned, but there's always new stuff that's happening and new methodologies and new ways of thinking about people and social media and marketing and advertising. So be open and then dare to fail. And this is very entrepreneurial, but failing is not failure. It just means pick yourself up and figure out what happened and what you're going to do next time, right? Yeah.
Learn from it, right?
Learn from it, completely learn from it. I mean, if we are in sales and if we are successful, we're probably failing a little bit each and every day. You know, oh, I could have done that a little bit differently, or, you know, I didn't get it this time, but next time, this is what I learned from it.
Yeah, and if I might interject, if you don't get a listing after a presentation, don't be afraid to ask in a nice way. What was it that drew you to that other person? It could be some stupid reason. And you've got to be careful not to let that affect how you do things. If you believe in how you do things, don't change because somebody said they, whatever, wore a blue shirt or something stupid like that. And just connect. And Elizabeth is one of the best I've seen at connecting with people. She's got, you've got the sincerity. It's true to your heart, and people love her for it. And it's somebody you can watch and really get a lot out of. Matt always knows all the stuff. He always knows the stats. And he knows.
I have to dumb it down.
Yeah.
And Matt always works so hard. He's so prepared. And that's something that you want to watch with Matt. We'll talk about that later.
All right. So, you know, hustle. This is all about the hustle. And so two of the most valuable characteristics of a great salesperson is resourcefulness and persistence, right? We are always trying new ways. And there are 10 different ways of achieving something. So if you haven't achieved it in that first way, then try again, because there's another way of doing it. Salespeople don't give up, and pay it forward. So here's the thing about sales, as you all know, I think it's a give, then ask. I think that there's a lot of giving in the beginning, giving of information, being generous with what you know, being available. To me, that's giving. And that's compassion. And people want to connect to that compassion because, yes, they see your skill set, but they also say, okay, who's the one that can pivot? When something goes down, who's the one that will be there? Who's the one who will have my back? You know, it's not enough just to be skilled, right? We have to be really good on the people side. So next slide, please. So cultivate the lead, build your audience, your confidence, prove your value, show empathy, and establish trust. Can't close until trust is established. And that's very true. People will need to feel that, you know, they can put their faith in you. You are the one. Without the trust, nothing really can be done. Okay, next slide. So make it personal. Make it about them. They tell you something, build on that. Become a storyteller, but in their story. Make it about their journey, their issues. Be the solution. This, by the way, is from a TED Talk, and it's a great one to watch. He's an amazing storyteller. This guy gets so much information across in the story. It's unbelievable. His name is Sir Ken. He talks about schools killing creativity. He is an amazing storyteller. I definitely persuade you guys to watch him. It's incredible.
Sir Ken who?
Sir Ken, I forget, but schools killing creativity, it will come up. It is the most watched TED video, and it's just incredible. I mean, he gets all this data in through stories. So become a storyteller. Why do I say that? Because people remember stories. Why? Because now it's psychology. Now we're tapping into their long-term memory. And once we tap into a person's imagination, they'll remember it, right? Short-term memory are facts. That's why.
Sir Ken Robinson, by the way.
Yes.
Sir Ken Robinson.
Yes. He
actually has a video you can watch for 19 minutes.
He's amazing. What a storyteller. And so it's because of the way he tells the story, it makes what he's selling, his ideas, his techniques, his strategies, so effective. he's a leader in his industry, and it's because of his storytelling, because he really connects with his audience. So look at him, look how conversational he is, look how comfortable he is. Yet what he's talking about, I mean, it's heightened, right? I mean, there's a lot on the line, and that's for all of us as salespeople. There's always a lot on the line, but we have to bring our best. Next slide, please. So be prepared, ask questions and clarify, work to develop solutions, credibility, and integrity. So being prepared, whether it's a meeting, whether it's a networking event, know the room that you're going into. You know, be the host, don't be the guest, right? Go in there and treat everyone as if they just walked into your room, and that they are all looking, you know, to you as to feel good, right? And so make them feel something, talk about them, and have your objective. And that objective is always driving you where you want to get closer to it. You want to find out, well, can I get in touch with this person? Are they looking to buy? Are they looking to sell? Are they first-time homeowners? Are they in the luxury space? Where are they? Right? But always make it about them. But by having a clear objective, you know, sometimes people will go into a room, talk to someone, and then the other person leads, right? We in sales, we want to be the leader, but we want to make the other person think that they're leading. And that's the art.
Ask questions. Ask questions about their house. Why did they decide to go to this house? What do they like best about it? I always say to people, look, tell me what you like best about it. You're the expert, and I represent you. I want to be able to convey that. So give me the 3 or 4 best things you like about the house, and later on we'll make a longer list because we're going to use that to sell this house and get you top dollar. Ask them, you know, why they chose this house. What was it about this house that drew them? And it can help us. And when they start talking about the house, they feel good, and they feel that you're interested in them and the house.
Okay. Oh, hi, careful.
Now, everybody, this is up in Sanford. This is Maureen Leo. She's one of the original agents we had. She joined in October of 1998.
Wow.
That's someone like Marina, we might not have a company. So.
That's great. Welcome. I'm Kelly. Nice to meet you.
Make it about them. Make it about their house and them. And then you'll get them talking. You know, a lot of this is like dating, to be honest with you. It's been a long time. It's been a long time, but you don't want to just go on and on about yourself. You want to be a listener. You want to get the eye contact and get them talking, get them liking you. Everybody likes somebody who wants to give them the opportunity to talk about themselves. So remember that.
Right, and think of it as fun. I mean, being the best version of you means that you're in the moment, that you're connecting with another living being. And that makes it more fun. When we're in our heads, it's less fun, right? Because we're thinking, oh, what are we doing here? I feel stupid. There's no one here that I want to meet. But you never know where life takes us. But in order for life to really take you somewhere, you need to be in the moment.
And one other thing too, every house you go into, a lot of times, most of them you don't like. But you know something? Don't let that get to you. The people that bought it liked it. The people who bought it from, they bought it from liked it. The architect liked it. The builder liked it. There are people out there, and you just have to find the one person. You may not like it, but you're not buying it. You're just going to be the one selling it. And there are a ton of people out there that will like it, if not at least one, and yet all you have to do is just find one.
Yeah, again, it's about the audience's likes. And we want to do a needs analysis, find out what it is that they like and what it is that they don't like. So next slide, please. So this I just put together. It's just a simple formula. It can be used in any industry, but a good elevator pitch has the following. It is about you. It is about, you know, your company, your unique value proposition, what you bring to it, right? The solution, how you solve a problem, and how do you address the market, right? So this can be used any which way, but, you know, having a unique value proposition in an elevator pitch is important. Creating that solution and then identifying the problem, because people have fears and we want to be able to tap into those fears so that we can help them, so that we can become their solution. Next slide. And I just created something really simple. Again, this can be worked in a brokerage group. Meant to say group. Okay, I work in real estate for Higgins Private Brokerage Group, a family-run business that's based on first-time home buyers, for example, or you can say buyers looking to downsize, for example, the luxury market, for example, or sellers looking for a fast and high return, right? Once we begin to figure out who they are in conversation, if someone says, oh, okay, so you are in real estate, then what do you do? Right? We market to regional and global mindsets that buyers and sellers can potentially capitalize on. So this is just a framework.
If I could just jump in there.
Yeah, of course.
I can still think of it. Yeah. What we want to do now, the big question is always, how are you different than anybody else? Whether they say it or not, they're thinking of it. And just address that without them even saying it. In fact, bring it up now. You're probably wondering what makes me different. And let me tell you something. What makes me different is my specialty is making your house different. And that's the important thing. I'm going to make your house stand out among all the other houses on the market. How am I going to do that? Well, first thing we're going to talk about is the internet and visual marketing. And that's our specialty. In fact, you know what? We just won an award. We beat out 3,900 offices with 130,000 agents in the world, and we got first place on this for our visual marketing. I'm going to take a few minutes to show you that, and I think you're going to like it. Now, one of the things we're going to do at that point, recently my cousin Barbara had her house on the market in Far Island. So she showed me what she had done, and I'm thinking, it's not that great, Barbara. And here's the queen of real estate, and here's me telling her it's not that great. And so she showed.
Got it.
Yeah, well, let me tell you the whole story. So I said, look, let me send you a really good photographer. I'll get you a good deal, etc. She said, I don't want to spend any money. Blah, blah, blah. And I don't have the time. I said, you know what? I'll take care of it for you. So I sent out Alan Berry, who's extraordinary. And so he took these pictures, and then we used the Adobe Spark, and we put together, getting ahead of myself. I said to Barbara, you know what? I'll pay for it. Okay, here, she's got all the money, but I'll pay for it. So, and I think you're going to like it. But there was a method to my madness. Yeah. So we get the incredible website now. And even she said, God, I don't think I want to sell my house after looking at that. It doesn't even look like my house. And anyway, it's sold now, but we're advertising it anyway.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah. And so we have this great website. So I was talking to Jillian yesterday, and she was sending out texts and emails to expired listings. And I showed her what we can do now. And I was telling her to say, we specialize in getting your house out there, and globally and nationally, and how we're going to do it. Let's give you an example. So I showed her what's the landing page. And I'll send this. I'll make this. We're going to have a big thing about this. A landing page for Barbara's house. Well, what did I do that for? I said, Barbara Corcoran. Right? It's going to attract attention to anybody that's got their expired listing. And so we show on this landing page all the international sites that go. So it's the same thing we've been using, only now we got her name. And so my $1,000 was well worth it. We got her name up there.
She know that?
Yeah, she loves the thing. And then we also have the Adobe Spark website. So we can show that now. And I'm telling you, it's powerful. It's really powerful. With this Lux VT thing we're using, I think I've been on 8 presentations. Now we got all 8. It's like a slam dunk. Like 10 minutes we had the listing. And now that's adding her name in there. It's going to be hard to beat.
So this landing page, you can email it or?
Yeah.
Awesome. And is it in the dashboard or not yet?
Yeah, well, it's going to be in the dashboard next week. We're going to make some additions to the dashboard next week. We're adding this in there. It's a special with Barbara Corcoran's name on it. And that's like, let me put it this way. A couple of months ago, she was emptying her purse on a TV show. So I wanted to see what was in her purse, and a lip balm fell out. Next week, she got a contract for $300,000 to endorse a lip balm by the people that are being asked. So this is worth a lot of money. And we'll put it out there and use it, utilize it. And what you're also we're gonna start having these classes, because we have different levels with our new website presentation. Depending on the price of the house, you can show them this. Another price of the house, you can show them that. Like Brown Harris Stevens, they only want houses $1.5 million more on their website. So we have that all laid out. So you can just click into this and see it. But I'm going to start integrating on the expensive ones, or as many as possible levels, her house on the beach. It looks great. And it's just going to make us unbeatable, really, with the stuff we've got. And also another thing to digress from that, next week we're going to have, for a lot of the newer agents, especially, but for anybody, we're going to have binders filled out, step-by-step instructions, what you put and why you put it, what questions you might want to ask or be ready for. And we have some videos.
What do you mean, what you put?
Well, you take the listing, you take the offer, let's say, and you put, number one, it says fill in the name of the buyer. Number two, the name of the seller. Number three, the address. If you don't have the address of the name of if you don't have the name of the seller.
You mean for the open house?
No,
Oh.
This is
Presentation, right?
No, this is just for basic tools.
We have that, binder checklist.
No, this is far beyond that.
Oh.
You'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's like 36 things to remember or to do when you're putting out.
When you get, okay.
And explanations, like a lot. I don't want to digress too much, but like.
So you're not talking marketing now?
No,
Yeah.
I'm just digressing. That's what I'm saying.
Internal.
Internal stuff. It's going to be
new stuff.
Yeah,
that you
just something next week, along with what we're going to doing with this listing presentation. But instead, that's an outline. But you want to start talking about what we're going to do for them, and you hire an international real estate public relations / marketing firm from California to work with us on your house. And I've never had I've been doing this a long time. Never had reactions like we have now with this. We've got about 30 listings up with that company, and it's so cheap.
So and I don't want to digress
No,
either, but
no,
my
go
question is, like, how is it in an organized fashion? I'm the kind of
Okay,
person
let me
that is
show you.
always on the fly. And,
Yeah.
if I can click into something and grab it and do
Okay,
it,
let me see if I can find it. You keep
but
talking.
it's coming next week, maybe?
Well, it's here today if you need it.
It's here on the dashboard, or?
But, no, it'll be on the dashboard next week.
That's
I have
okay.
it. If you have something over the weekend, I can just send it to you.
We'll talk afterwards, but
Okay.
it will be all organized on the dashboard?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
A lot of it is, but if we're going to make it even better, I want to slip this Barbara Corcoran thing in there. I've had the 28 Sasco Hill, the $28 million Sasco Hill there as an example, but that's too overpowering. We're going to put Barbara's house there, so you'll be able to sell the idea of Barbara Corcoran.
Because I've got all these ideas, but they're not for me, organized in a way that I can apply them to different situations.
Did I send it to you yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Can you pull it up or send it back to me real fast so I can find it faster?
Should I continue on, and then do you want to address this first?
Well, give me,
Sure.
if she can find it right away.
Sure.
Okay,
Not
she's
a
going to
problem.
send it to
I'll
me.
just forwarding it back to you.
Rick Higgins 77.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing to have Barbara's house sold by Higgins. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
What
Well, she has
community
so
was
many
that?
choices.
Where on Fire Island?
Salt there.
Also there.
Yeah. She got it sold because somebody saw it on TMZ. Somebody from England who goes out to Fire Island all the time.
Oh,
So,
great.
because she bought the house next door, so she should be here in a second. Well, once you keep talking, Kelly, I don't want to hold everybody up.
Sure. No, it's perfectly fine. No, it's important. Next slide, and then I'll just stop when Rick finds what he's looking for. Next slide, please.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so why now? Why is it the right timing for your service to flourish?
I got it.
Okay, fabulous. At least I got that out.
Downloading.
Hold on, Stanford.
Hey, Reg,
Yeah.
go into my email there and so people can see it. Okay, so this is what's the landing page. And this is, we're gonna show them two things. We're gonna show them what we're gonna offer them. So it says Barbara Corcoran's
It'd be great to see it up
Fire
here.
Island, yeah, can we put it up there?
Yeah, I think he's about to. That would be so much better.
Yeah.
You can, because I found the link online and I've been texting it.
Okay, can you send it over to Kelly? Is that your
I
email,
know,
Kelly?
no, it's Marina's.
Oh.
So
Well,
he's gonna
got
open
more
up
better.
yours right now.
Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you. All right.
Oh, don't worry about it. Glad you're here.
But this is gonna be such a powerful tool for everybody. Is this my email?
Yeah.
Why is
Where-
it not? Oh, you know what? Slide down to where it's
You can do
unread.
a search.
Go down, just slide down to where it's unread. I have all the unread ones to the ones where it's red. I mean, go all the way down. Keep going, keep going.
Go down, you mean?
Just scroll down.
You do know this is on the agent dashboard. You know that, right? Every single marketing deck is.
Not the one I have, the one I'm using.
Where is it, man?
Just keep scrolling down, Rich. Goes a little faster. Now, everything else there. Okay, the top one, great job. Okay, good.
Ah, nice.
Okay, so what you'd be saying is say, look, here's our marketing plan for a house like yours. And, you know, you can say, this is what we did for Barbara Corcoran. And then just go a little faster so they can get a general idea. It describes what we're gonna do.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, no,
And
that's
then-
not Adobe.
No, we'll get there in a minute. Then we have the world-class marketing. Keep going down.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then I don't think this is interactive though. Rich, hit C in action, see if it's interactive there. I don't think it is.
It looks beautiful.
Okay, it is. Okay, so this is how, one of the things we do for them. This goes part and parcel with these SVT. I don't know why the music's in. You know what, Rich, to save time, let's go back. But generally, what you do is it looks much nicer when it's going smoothly. But go back to where we were before we clicked on this. Usually, it's a lot smoother.
And those are Alan's photos that's put through or
Those were
something?
some that he didn't have his drone. The interior were his.
And who puts it through into that video? Is that
They do.
Lux VT?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
This looks great.
Okay. Keep going. So you had the New York Times when we were talking, the Wall Street Journal. This is an upscale digital magazine. Then it goes into the Robb Report and Mansion Global. You could hit See in Action, any one of those, and it shows you what it looks like on that website. You don't bother now, Rich. Just keep going. And then we international advertising.
Wow.
And then this is cool. When we show them,
Mhm.
we say, okay, here's the international reach. It's going to go into the equivalent of Zillow or Realtor.com of each country. And here are the different countries it's going
All
into.
through Lux VT
Yeah.
for a certain price.
Yeah. Keep going. Keep scrolling.
90.
Goes into Jouet.com. That's the #1 Chinese one. It
Mm,
goes into other Chinese ones too.
This looks amazing.
Goes onto Facebook,
I
keep
love how
going.
Barbara Corcoran is highlighted there.
YouTube. And then that.
But that really was $1,000 well spent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, Rich, pull up this.
Right?
Pull up bcfireisland.com. And now what we do here, we show them what the actual website would look like. And this, any house can go on this. It doesn't have to be part of this. And you may or may not have seen it when we talk about the Adobe Spark.
Oh.
Okay, just give us a few minutes on that now. So we have our narration. This is great for millennials who don't have a big attention span. It gets our information there. And
I apologize to your Stanford office.
You're on all of
I
my
apologize to that audience.
Yeah.
they can't see it?
No,
For
millennials.
that comment.
Oh, no.
We can see you, but we can hear you too. So
No people like me don't have any attention span too, so it's equal now. But see how good it looks?
Yeah.
When people see this,
Yep.
this setup, this platform, but when you show these things, you can't help but get the listing.
So great.
It's wonderful.
And I guarantee you, nobody's even
Oh, I
come
love that
close.
outside shot. That one prior, that was nice.
Was that the one? I didn't see?
Like an outdoor, it's
Table?
right there. That's beautiful. Love the lighting.
What is that for?
I don't know.
That I thought was a weird shot.
That's a weird, that was.
Yeah, of the bed, kind of.
I wasn't paying much attention.
Yeah.
I was thinking about something.
She bought the one right next door.
After sell this one back as well. I didn't think that bad for it.
That's
a great shot.
beautiful.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
But you get the feeling.
Yeah. Looks great.
And basically, all we have to do is show up, be nice, and know what we're talking about. We're going to get that listing. The tools we have now.
Right.
Mhm.
Lovely.
Nice,
Love
right.
it.
I
Love
like
it.
the,
Yeah. Looks
And
great
it's sold
too.
at Ask.
the lighthouse too. It's
Mhm.
great.
It's got a great visual.
Well, that sign says 2995. Wasn't that an $11 million house?
No. I don't know what that is. I don't know.
Her house wasn't 11 million?
No, it's 295.
Yeah.
She only paid $1 million for it.
Oh, really?
For those, oh, yeah.
I can't believe she got that.
Wow.
Looks like we're blocked out of your PowerPoint.
Oh, Marina's?
Yeah.
It's Marina's email that it's
Oh.
in.
Okay.
I'm curious, Rick, she's a real estate agent, right? Barb Corcoran?
She used to be.
Oh, she's not, I was just gonna say, why didn't she list her own house?
No, she used to be.
I'm sure she doesn't have the time to.
I've heard of her, yeah.
Okay, well.
She's not in the Corcoran group.
Okay.
I'm sure she doesn't have the
She didn't have
time,
time.
right? She
Oh, she
wouldn't
doesn't
want
have
to
the
do
time.
that.
She's so out of real estate. It's the
Yeah.
last thing she wants to do.
Yeah.
She gets a lot of goes on there.
It's the last thing she wants to do. She's so
There you
busy
go.
with Shark Tank and everything.
You go on back in your account.
Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. Dance with the Stars, which didn't last too long, but.
Okay, so
go back to
as
what we're
they're
talking
getting that up, let me just continue to talk. So people want to know like why us and why now? So they want to be able to see and feel what we can bring. There needs to be a sense of urgency that we need to work with this person because this person is going to get it done. So people need to experience that. And it's the way and how we present ourselves, talking about what Rick just talked about, the marketing, also using the persuasive selling of Barbara Corcoran's home and getting that sold rapidly. These are all talking points and gets us to the next level. And that's what we're looking to do. We're always looking to get to the next level. So we need to think about, why us, why now? Because there's so many other companies out there. There's so many other agents out there. And we really have to understand what makes us unique for the audience and what makes our company unique for the audience. Not for us, right? It's never about us. It's WIIFM. People are always saying, okay, what's in it for me? That's it. What's in it for me? This whole conversation, even a personal conversation, people will start to, they'll start to pattern with their brain, right? They'll want to connect it. They'll want to connect the dots. okay, how am I involved with this? You know, so it's especially like that in sales. So the acquisition, which is slide number 13, thank you for bringing that up.
Okay.
You know, so it's the why, and then it's the acquisition. And we did talk about some of those channels that are being used, like the Adobe Spark, like all the other ad platforms, whether it's traditional media, whether it's digital media, talking about the global reach, the national reach, talking about the award that was just awarded, right? These are all customer acquisition strategies. You know, this will get people excited about the company. So you want to let them know if it certainly matters to them. If it matters only to you, and if it looks just as if you're boasting about yourself or about the company, the audience will tune out, right? But if we make it about them, this is what we can do for you. If we were to do this, you would have this type of reach. This is what we've done in the past. Look at Barbara Corcoran's house, right? This was sold in a record time, and partly, yes, because of who she is, but the other part is because of the marketing, because of the effort that was put into getting the house out there, the right images, the right platform on the internet, the right social media type of reach, the right type of traditional reach. You know, we want to be able to talk about it. And Barbara Corcoran is a great story. So remember I showed you that picture of Ken Robinson, Sir Ken Robinson. If you were an agent, he would certainly talk about, you know, how it happened with Barbara Corcoran and how the company helped her to sell her home. Okay, so next slide, please. And the team, right? That's about the Higgins group. And you talk about the credibility and background and the strength of the team, the years of experience and what it has all brought to this place now. You know, the expertise in Fairfield County, the amount of offices, the amount of reach.
Maybe I could address this more specifically. Let's go over a couple of things. Now, as you all know, we're not with Christie's anymore. I made that as a business decision because I don't want to denigrate them in public, but it's a terrible organization now. I've never seen anything go downhill so fast in my life as I've seen Christie's in the last couple of years. And I am so enthusiastic about this thing we joined, this who's who in luxury real estate. It's the way Christie's used to be, only it's much bigger. Like I say, they have 3,900 offices, 130,000 agents all over the world. And in our listing presentation, which we'll go into, there's a video from them about talking about it. And it's very, very impressive. Has anybody seen that aspect of it yet? Rich, can you pull that up? Can you pull that up?
Say that again?
What do you need, Rick?
You know the one that we have for luxury real estate and everything, our normal listing presentation?
Hang on.
For the upper end.
I don't know where it is, so let me ask Rick. Rich.
Okay.
Is Marina there?
Hey, Rich?
We'll go
Marina?
pull them in here.
I don't know what.
If Marina is there, she might be able to pull it out.
Here.
What do you need? A listing presentation?
Yes.
What do you need?
Now you're just eating them all.
We need the, Marina, you know the, can you pull up that list you gave me with all the different presentations on it?
Yeah. You want the list?
Different levels.
Okay, you want all the levels?
Yeah, all the levels, you know, the most expensive, the less expensive, you know, that one.
Okay.
That one thing, send me, one email.
Oh, the email. Okay, sure.
Oh, okay. I'll take a break.
Now, this is on
my
our,
favorite.
this is on our Agent X. And this is something I want everybody to become familiar with because this is going to be the key to your success.
Let's see.
Is that it?
Hold on, I got million emails. Let's see.
I was just thinking I can find it with all the emails going to Rick.
Now, this is something that address it there. That's it. We have different ones for different prices. Okay, because like if you want to go Brown Hair Stevens, excuse me, it's got to be $1.5 million or more. So we have that one isolated. You'll see what I'm talking about if we get this up.
Hold on, let me try to find the right one.
Oh, we could go to agent access. It should be there, right?
Why don't you put in a search, Marina?
She knows where she did it. It's right in here, one of these.
But sometimes if you do a search, it's easier.
It's too complicated because it's too overlapping.
Got it.
And sorry this wasn't all done, but I've been kind of going all over the place just with whatever thought comes to mind when we're talking, digressing a little bit or freewheeling on this. That's it.
Oh wait, no, that's not it.
That's not it.
That's where
Oh, let me go to the dashboard.
freewheeling.
Yeah, exactly. He's a master at it.
Maybe on the agent access. Maybe we should go there because that's where they're going to find it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing that. Let me address something. Now, about 1.5 years ago, I saw the direction we were heading with Christie's, and I knew we'd be with somebody else. But in the meantime, I wanted to seek a way to differentiate ourselves from all the big box stores, and that's why I modified our name and added private brokerage, because I want people to think of us. I like the connotation. I like the association with private brokerage, private banking, private lessons, private school, private this, private that.
High-end.
Yeah. And you can always go down with stuff, but you can't go up. You can't be.
Well, it makes it more personal too.
Yeah,
Private.
exactly. It's more personal, and that's what we want to be. We're not going to be a big broker or big box brokerage, so let's go to the other.
And I think it lends more expertise. You know, when you say brokerage, there's something about that, right? Buyer and seller is in that word.
Yeah.
I like
the
that.
privacy, the private element, I liked a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay. You have this under listing presentations on the Asian dashboard. Okay. Go to the top one. What is that? 1A?
Which one?
1A, the top one, most expensive one.
Or the Pro? Pro is the top.
Pro, then. Go to the Pro. There it is.
You want me to open it up?
Yeah. Open it up, please.
Flip book?
The flip book.
Okay.
This is our listing flip book now. Now this is for houses $1.5 million or more. And if you're going to be going into, if you're going to use the Lux VT, now here's what the Lux VT does. All that stuff I showed you, all those websites and everything else, it costs you no more than $195 to get it set up like that. It's unbelievable. And it pays for all those ads. And then what?
This is over 1.5. Can you use the Lux VT under 1.5?
You can. You can.
There's no price minimum.
No, there's no
right?
price minimum on that. The only price minimum, there's two. Who's Who in Luxury Real Estate, the house, to go on their website has to be 500,000 or more. And for Brown Hair Stevens, it's got to be $1.5 million or more.
Yeah.
Now, then that Lux VT, depending, the most expensive house, you pay $1,000 if the house sells. And we pay part of that, we being the company, proportionate to your split.
What's the 195?
The 195 is the setup charge.
Got it.
And that pays for.
Is that all here? That's all explained?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the 195 pays for all those ads they put in there and everything, although it was unbelievable. I can't, and we're keeping this a secret. I never use the term what it's called outside of here because I don't want other companies to do it.
So when you go,
is anyone else doing it?
No, not around here.
So when you go, don't say the word Lux
No,
VT.
no, we just call it a private, we call it an international real estate public relations / marketing firm from California.
And that's up there also, what to call it?
No, I just.
We should put that into
up there?
a newsletter
I'll
or something.
Because I'm going to forget.
Can you say it again?
That's a
International
mouthful.
International real estate public relations / marketing firm from California.
Will you have Leslie put that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, where were we? What happened?
I don't know what
Pro,
happened.
what happened to the pro thing? Now we're back to the beginning.
Okay, hold on.
I'm sorry.
No, it's important.
And by the way, I haven't announced this yet, but they just asked us at Luxury Real Estate to be on their board of regents. So that means it's like the board of directors there. So it's good for us. It's good for us.
That's wonderful.
You have to be asked. Okay, so let's follow through. We go to the dashboard down at the bottom. Since we're starting from scratch, let's just watch what we do. Now we go to sellers, listing presentation. And the most expensive one for $1.5 million or more is the Pro. And that's at the top there. Why don't we click on, see, these other ones have different levels. Like if your property is, you don't want Brown Harris Stevens, or you keep going down if your house is a 500,000, you pick out the one you want and get familiar with it so you know which one you're going to be talking about.
Got it.
Level 2B, that would be who's who in luxury real estate. That's $1.5 million, but no Lux VT. And then down here, under 500, we have a listing presentation for that, and it's in a flip book.
Got it.
Okay, so let's go back to the top and do Pro. Okay, so what Marina and Rich did, they developed a flip book for this, so, which is really nice. So let's start flipping through the pages. Okay, so we talk about ourselves a little bit. And then we talk about luxuryrealestate.com. It's a global network. It gives some stats of how many offices, how many people, how many countries. Flip. And then we talk here again about luxury real estate. Talks about the traffic. And you can send this to someone afterwards too. And then this is Brown Harris Stevens partnering worldwide. And what happened there was they actually were asked to leave Christie's because Christie's, in their infinite wisdom, decided to open up their own office in New York, which has been a complete disaster. And they used to get $1 million a year fee from Brown Harris. They had Palm Beach, the Hamptons, and New York.
Wow.
And then now they've got seven agents in a room a little bit bigger than this. Okay, hit the top one there, luxury real estate. That video there. Now, it's up to you to decide what you want to show people, but these are good videos.
Is exclusively for multi-million-dollar profit.
What's going on with this sound? Jesus Christ.
Material.com has the most million-dollar profit.
No, but if this was a listing presentation.
The best of the best.
Just buffering. I think.
Yeah, it might be a weak internet connection.
We can't have this because this will just kill us. We're going to start it over again, okay? We can't have it this way. Let's start from scratch. Let's figure out what's going on
But
here.
this is not sent from our.
Does he want this?
Oh, it's from there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but still, I
It should be
mean,
able to do
it
that.
shouldn't be an issue.
This is recorded.
Okay, at any rate, let's get out of this video. It's not working.
You want to get out of this?
Yeah, it's not working. Up here, it's a disaster. You
Ask her if
can't
it's
hear
working
anything.
on her end.
I know.
Is it working on your end?
Yes.
It was working fine?
Yep.
It
Okay.
wasn't buffering,
Well,
it
it
wasn't
was a
slowing
little-
down.
What?
It
Was it
wasn't slowing
buffering?
down. It wasn't slowing down. It wasn't buffering.
It's slowing down a little bit, but it's working. We can hear it on our end.
That's not good though.
Well, I mean, it's
It may
probably
be
the
because of
same.
the Zoom thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a video there. There's one about Brown Harris Stevens. Okay, let's flip.
Flip.
Flip the page, please.
Yep, it's going.
Okay. Now we go into our PR firm. We'll call it Perfect Presentation. And you can hit click here to see action. And that'll show you, we won't bother now, but that shows you the website that they build for the house. Flip, please. And then it shows us where they're going into. New York Times, Wall Street Journal, flip, please. A digital magazine, Rob Report. Mansion Global, DuPont Registry. Mind you, you're getting all that for $195. All
don't
these
tell them that.
websites. Pardon?
We don't tell them that.
No, this looks like it costs about $10,000.
Right.
You saw that, then Jouet, Facebook and Instagram. Flip.
I mean, that's such a deal for
YouTube.
$195.
And then if you're at the pro level, they build you an e-brochure to send out. Okay, flip. And then this is cool. See along the left there, seller satisfaction. Every week, they're going to send you a report on how many people looked at it, et cetera, weekly, monthly, and since the
Do
beginning.
they get to see that? Is that something
Yeah,
they sign up
they,
for?
they send that to you and you send it to them.
Oh, okay.
Are they gonna ask us?
Go back. Well, I'm not finishing. Go back.
Are they gonna ask us how often are we in private air, Rob Report,
Well,
Wall Street Journal?
private air, it's up to you. This is not part of that. This is something,
Oh,
it
that's
costs
us,
$100 for,
Right.
you know, you don't have to go in every issue. We subsidize it, but
But the things prior to that, Jawa and New York Times.
it should be on the pro pretty almost every day, I'd say. Yeah, at least,
Huh.
yeah. And then private air is another add-on there for $100. So this is for the more expensive houses, but that costs $100.
Yeah.
You know, for an ad in there, we pay the rest. Flip. And then we also show them some of the normal stuff we do. This is in almost every one of our presentations. Our internet marketing partners, Realtor.com. And you can explain to them that they have an enhanced Realtor.com. And these are the stats. And just so you know, what happens with this Realtor.com, you know how in Zillow, where you could have a listing and Susie Q's on there? That's not going to happen on your Realtor.com. Because that money you're paying for 175 or whatever it is for the year guarantees you only you are going to be on that page. So you're going to get the calls direct, anything on Realtor.com, and that's wonderful. Okay, flip.
And how much is that?
What?
Realtor.com.
It's 175 or something.
195.
195 for all the listings you have that year. And if you, so it's an
Oh,
incredible
for
part.
everything.
Yeah. And this is our market assist, print and crawler brochures. We'll pay for the URL, digital property tours. You just get us a photography and we'll do all that. And then the last one, we're not going to go through, we already saw that. That's the Adobe Spark, but you can show them on that, how that works. And that's your listing presentation. Now it varies depending on whether you want to use the PR firm and then the local advertising and some other things there.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry, just because we're on this, back up a page, well, it doesn't matter. The, it said Instagram or social media postcards. Who does that in the office?
We'll do that.
Who's we?
Just contact Shannon or Leslie
Okay.
and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Shannon took Deanna's place. So you
Shannon.
contact Shannon or Leslie and we'll take it from there.
So she's doing social media besides the
Yeah.
advertising. Got it. Okay.
So if you want to get it out there, we'll take care of it
Okay.
for Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is supply the photography.
Yeah.
You know, and like I say, we have stuff for houses 500,000 or less. In there, we'll put Homes and Estates magazine. It's not as elaborate as this, but some elements of this are in there. And you certainly will do an Adobe Spark. I don't care what price the house is. We're doing an Adobe Spark for you, and that can take 2 hours to do. And we'll do everything, you know, the basic stuff. So this is all part of your signature, but you want to be familiar with this because the key to selling is being confident. And you can't be, unless you're extraordinary, you can't be confident unless you know what you're talking about. Because then you're not being accurate, you're not being good. And if you have a conscience, then you can't do it. So I would know this stuff backward and forward. Just practice with it. Go into the agent dashboard, go into listing or sellers, go into listing presentation, and look at all the different ones. And when you have a listening presentation, prepare for it. Spend a couple hours preparing for it.
Well, this
A
is
lot
part of
focus.
your UVP, your unique value proposition that you bring.
Yeah, because we are trying to be the best. And us being the best isn't any good unless we convey that and show them why we're the best. I know we have the best listening presentation. And I've been in presentations where when Revis comes in, all they talk about is their stats and their market share. When someone says that to me, I just kind of, I kind of smile and I say, I guess you've been talking to our friends at Revis, haven't you?
Yeah.
And they go, yeah. I go, well, let me just ask you something. And what did they talk about that's specific to you? What did they talk? Our specialty is making your house stand out among all the others. So, and I'm not knocking them. They're a good outfit, obviously. But what do they talk about with you? And then every time I've ever said, they go, you know, they didn't. They just talked about that. And I said, okay, well, let's talk about you. And this is why we're a private brokerage. We're focused on you and getting your house to stand out. And this is our key to success with this. And then we go into this. And
great.
you're going to get the listing 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Just be confident. And also, one of the things I want you to learn from these classes, which we go back and forth on as far as doing it every couple of weeks, is working on the body language. Reading body language. Everybody freeze. Now, she's entranced on her phone.
I'm sorry. I'm making reading with someone. I'm so sorry.
But everybody's leaning forward. They're all relaxed. And that's what you want to be when you're talking to somebody. Don't get into this stuff until you're all like this. Because if they're like this, open them up. Open up that clinch. Talk about their family. Talk about their kids. Talk about stuff that's pleasant. And then when you get them like this, Kelly has shown us what to do then. Capture their eyes, get their eye contact, smile. When you're on the phone, smile too. It conveys
You
it.
can feel it.
It lifts
Yeah.
serotonin. It's proven.
What are some of the hints on tips on body language?
Yeah, sure. Well, I just want to say before we do that, and we will, so the acquisition that we talked about, those different channels, voila, here's the customer acquisition right here. And then the why that we talked about, what makes us unique, voila, you know, it's just like what Rick had showed. And then also the team, you know, the power of the team and who's behind the engine and who can help. It's not just me, but I bring in all of the brokerage group, all of their expertise. And there's definitely several subject matter experts in the Higgins group. So body language, if we were to talk about it, the thing about body language is this, and it also involves mirroring. So we want to be able to read a room, right? And we can only be able to read a room when we're in the moment, right? I can't read a room if I'm in my head, if I'm thinking about the laundry, if I'm thinking about, oh my God, I have to get the train, right? I'm not in the room, I'm in my own head, which takes me out of the moment. So the moment is when we're in the room, that's when we can pick up on the nuances, that's when we can pivot. That's the only time we can pivot, right? Being in the moment. So being in the moment, if I'm watching your body language and I'm seeing that it's a little bit more relaxed, maybe a little bit more back, I might go a little bit back, right? I want to mirror you so we create a sense of similarity, right? So we create companion, we're the same. Yeah, we're the same. You and me, we're the same, right? So if I were to go like this.
Codependent.
Right? Right, we're playing the same music.
Yes.
We're dancing to the same song, right? So if I'm talking to you like this, I've just mirrored you, you know, and now I've created look, I'm mirroring you almost exactly. So not even like turned all the way like you, you know, but still we can have a pretty good conversation, and you wouldn't pick up on the fact that I am mirroring you. Just that we have something. There's a connection that you and I share, right? So it's knowing those things, and it's being able to mirror that if you want, and if you can. It's very effective. Then you can start to take your audience to different places, because now once I've established that trust with you, now I can open up a little bit more. Right? Now I can swivel my chair, and now I can be a little bit bigger, fuller, right? And then you, in fact, will start to feed off of that energy that I send you. So first I meet you at your level, wherever that might be.
And then you pivot.
And then I can take it up.
Yeah.
But I first have to meet someone where they're at in order to take it up, right? And so we can play with energy. People generally like positive energy, and that means higher energy, right? When we have lower energy, what does that mean? That means I'm in my head, that's sadness, that's melancholy. We don't want to give that to anyone.
Apathetic.
Right, right. We want to be able to inspire, to influence, to make people feel something. And if we start to make them feel something, we emotionally connect. Remember what I had said earlier about images. Once I start emotionally connecting with you, you start to remember more. You know, it starts to make a connection in your brain.
Stays with you.
Yeah, yeah. Because remember, Maya Angelou says, I'll forget what you said, I'll forget what you did, but I'll never forget how you made me feel. And that's very true, especially in sales, especially in sales. I mean, it's all about relationship building, and that's what we do day in and day out. How do I build a great relationship with you? Because I may not get what I want today, but if I build a friendship with you, then you'll keep me in mind. I'll be able to follow up. And then when time comes, I'll be one of those people that you'll think about.
Do you guys in Stanford have any questions so far?
No.
Can you hear okay?
In unison.
You can hear?
Yes.
Okay.
I also think being a good listener
Yes.
is critically important.
Well, it's so important. And there's something
Sometimes.
called active listening. And active listening is that instead of just listening, just to, you know, I'm listening to you because I have to listen to you. Active listening is being in the moment, and it's listening for meaning, for understanding. Because I want to get to know you more, and I want to get to understand what it is that's your pain point,
Right.
or what it is that
And
you're looking for.
What their needs are. I
Yeah.
think a lot of times, like what Rick is saying, Ravis, you know, a lot of people come in and just talk about themselves.
Right.
And maybe the stats and this and that, but they're not really good listeners.
It's all about
does this
them.
as well as anybody I've seen.
Yeah, I know, but if
You do.
if
You care about people, and it's so obvious. That's why you're
if you are a listener and try to meet them, you know, their needs, because everybody does have different needs. And if you can get them to kind of start talking about that, then it's
always answer their question. Make sure you understand the question. I'm trying to get a hold of somebody, and I'm asking him different questions. He does everything but answer the question. It's like he's telling me this, telling me that. I ask a question, no answer. Or then I get something else. It's I don't care. Just tell me what I want to know.
Right.
That's the key. That's what. Just keep that in mind. Tell them what they're asking. Make sure you understand it, and be concise. It's amazing how people will just go all over the map talking about.
And clarity to me is about, in business, is about having a strong objective. If I have a strong objective, I can listen all day long, and then that person can take that conversation where they want to go. And then at the end, I won't get what I want. And getting what I want may be a meeting, maybe a phone call, maybe I can send you some material. Can I list your home? It may be that kind of direct ask, right? So we always have to be, yes, active listening. We're listening for meaning. We're listening compassionately, but we still have an objective that we're driving to, because we want to win-win. We don't want to win-lose.
Also, let's talk about closing. One of the most important facets. Now, what are some of the good techniques for closing? I always think you want to start off with asking them, so what do you think about what I said? I'm really interested in your opinion about my approach, my presentation, etc. and let them sell themselves on the idea. Because you know you did a good job. If you're following what we do, you know you did a good job. Let them start telling themselves by telling you what they liked. And is there anything I didn't put in there that you wanted to hear? And then address it. If they haven't heard it, you want them to hear it right then and there. And then just say, what's your timetable on this, on your decision? When do you think you'll be knowing what you're going to do? The reason I ask is I think I can get the photographer. I know there's an opening coming up in a couple of days, and about 2 days. It takes us about a good week to put all together that enormous amount of stuff we're going to do for you. It takes us a week. So if you do want to use me, the sooner you can let me know, the better. And that's just a nice way of saying, if you want to tell me now, that's okay. If you don't, you don't.
And creating the sense of urgency.
Yeah, creating a sense of urgency.
Which is important.
Because you got to close in a nice way. Don't say, where do you want to sign now? Don't say something like that. Just kind of get into it. Like, what did you think about what I said? Is there anything I haven't addressed that you want addressed? Is there anything I didn't put in there that you want to hear? And what is your timing? And the reason I ask, because I know I can get my photographer in here. He happens to have an opening, and I can get him in here quickly. And you'll find somebody good. You can get.
I love that. What is your timing?
Yeah.
I love that, because then that's that opens up the door so that you can have a closing statement like you just did. I know a great photographer. He's in demand, but I can probably get him in here.
And another strategy you want to keep in mind too, another thing you could do, Alan Dalton used to talk about this, was very often there's an agreement between the two people that they're not going to make a decision. But you may have blown them out of the water, and you may have to give them a minute or two to talk with you not in the room. You can excuse yourself to use their lavatory. You can say, I just want to take another look at your family, if you don't mind. And you go in there for a couple of minutes and you come back out. And then you do your closing.
Yeah.
Then you do your closing.
Yeah.
Give them a couple of minutes just to talk to themselves with each other. And that way they don't want to talk about this in front of you. One's not going to say, you want to use her or not in front of you.
We hope not.
Oh, God, yeah.
Unless it's absolutely
That would be
cruel.
fun.
Or not.
That would not-
Do the nod, right? So that they.
So give them an opportunity to talk amongst themselves, and then just bring up the subject when you get back in. So talk about your presentation. Get them talking about what they liked about what you said, and let them keep talking. Let them keep talking, and then you go into the rest of it. Then you walk out, maybe with a listing.
Yeah, and it's a strategy, and I love that. You can think about that. You'd write it down. Okay, this is what I'm going to present, and then at this point, this is when I'll say, okay,
Also, how about when people you really need to stage something, in their living.
Okay, that's a great question. Here's what I suggest.
What was the question? When
Not
you really
staging.
You need to stage something.
This is one of the most critical, sensitive subjects you can bring up.
Absolutely.
I have seen people get thrown out of houses.
Yep.
Because the people think it's great. Now, if you don't think it's great, you can say something. You know what a lot of people are doing now, because a lot of these younger buyers, they have very definite taste what they like and they don't like. I love what you got, and I think most people do too. But if you want, we can bring a consultant in you can talk to, because they've got their finger on the pulse of what people are really looking for now. May not be what I'm looking for, but they know the buyers out there. And if you want, I can suggest somebody to come in and talk.
That's where you push it off to the
Yeah. And then this way, you're not criticizing their house, because I'd be surprised.
Oh my God, people get so upset.
Yes, and that puts you outside of it.
Because you might talk about how much you love their house.
So call them a consultant more than a stager.
Consultant.
Yeah, a consultant. A consultant on today's trends and what buyers are looking for.
Oh, really?
A specialist.
Yeah.
How much are they?
Well, you can get a consultation pretty cheap, a couple $100.
Yeah, $150.
In the city, they're 1% per 100,000. $2 million house, 20,000.
Cheryl's sister.
There it is there. But no, seriously. It could be anywhere from 5,000 for an embellishment, 7,500. up to $25,000
Oh, yeah.
for Greenwich Estate.
We spent
And
16.
what you
with
do.
her.
But don't you quote that. You don't.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no,
no.
no, no,
Every
no.
every situation is unique.
Let them sell.
The most important thing, by the way, I work with Susan Tracy of House Whisperers.
Yeah.
She stages probably about
She's probably the top
80 to
stager.
90% of the properties out in Fairfield County. She works Westport,
And she's an agent with us too.
and she's also an agent.
Mm-hmm.
It allows the buyers, particularly the millennials, to envision themselves in a home.
Absolutely, yeah.
And virtual staging, it's fine on the
Awful.
computer. When the people get in the house, they have no idea
Yeah, no.
what to do.
And it doesn't look real.
And it depersonalizes the home.
Mhm.
Yes, we go out on a listing presentation, we must be very sensitive to the sellers who think their home, it's still their home,
Mhm.
is beautiful and fabulous, even
Yeah.
if they have the 50-year-old grandma sofa with the plastic cover on. So you can praise it and take it away from yourself. It's always great to bring in an impartial opinion of a consultative stager.
Yeah.
But
Just
just
I wouldn't even use the word
consultation.
staging.
Yeah,
And
no,
this-
a consult.
I think
5 years.
staging gets you in trouble. If they're using staging, then fine. But be careful, just a consultant on the trends,
It'd be so great to have a video on
a
that.
design consultant on today's trends.
Yeah.
That's what I would call it.
Real Estate Staging Association, lots of YouTube videos on
Yeah.
what to say, but it usually,
I mean, I love that line. I mean, I would write that down because that's such a nice way of, it takes it away from you, as you both have said. Emotionally, it takes it away from you. And I
And
think
it's
that's
not
great.
critical of what they're doing.
Right,
A design consultant on today's trends.
right.
And it doesn't cost a lot, but whatever it costs, you get back in spades.
Yes.
Whatever it costs, you probably get for every dollar you
Oh,
spend,
they
you'll
pay
get.
for that
Yeah,
consultant,
yeah.
okay. But not the actual, it's not really, you mean the actual staging or just a consultation? Oh.
both.
How if you don't want them to stage it? How if you just want someone else to stage it?
Who? What do
Like
you
a
mean?
consultant comes in and then they decide, yeah, we want that, but, you know.
Well, it's probably someone
I don't
that
know
you
what the
would
question
connect
is.
The
with.
question is, if the consultant is actually connected to
The consultant
The
is a
consultant is
stager.
the
stager.
Right.
It is a
All right, so
stager.
they take that up and they want to do it with someone else. They
That's
can.
okay. You
But
don't
you
care.
pay what for that consultant? Just
Yeah,
to come
it's
in?
a couple $100.
Every,
So,
every stager works differently. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think like, what do you guys charge for consulting to go in and look? Get some
Went from-
idea?
usually for an hour appointment, 175 to 250.
Yeah, that's
We
another
give it back
going
to
rate.
charity, we don't even keep
That's the
it.
going rate.
Yeah.
Stacy does that, they do it.
Mhm.
And just tell them, you can, whenever you're in a situation, you can always say to somebody for a lot of different things, I tell you what, let's say it's 175, you pay it and I'll pay you back if I get the listing and it sells,
Yeah.
if you remind me.
Right.
They'll always forget. But at
I
least this
don't
way.
think so.
No, I
Forget?
Oh, yeah, because you know why? Here's how I know. So many times when you get into that sticky situation about pricing, and very often I said, look, here's what I would suggest. I'll give you that name of an appraiser, and you'll get it half price. You'll get it for like $395. And the great thing about this is she doesn't care if you're selling your house or not. She's going to tell you exactly what she's a bank appraiser. And she's going to tell you what a bank would appraise that house for. Because you don't want to go through all this and find out that if you get the one person out of 100 that overpays and they can't get a mortgage, then you have to start from scratch. So what I tell people, I say, why don't you have this appraiser in, cost you $395. If we get the list, you pay her. This way you have she has a fiduciary responsibility and a confidentiality just to you if you so desire. And that you pay her and she can't talk to me or anybody else without your permission. And then if you want her to talk to me, fine. But you pay her, I'll reimburse you if you remind me at closing. Doing that for 12 years, not only one person has ever asked for reimbursement. Be glad to pay, but we can't keep track of that stuff. So and the good thing I tell them, I say, this way it's a bank appraiser, so she's going to tell you what the bank is going to come in at. And then you make up your mind whether you want to sell it or not. In other words, don't waste your time. Don't waste my time. Don't waste your time.
Yeah.
It's a diplomatic way of saying that.
Yeah.
You guys hear that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, someone said yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and getting back, so most of the time they don't forget. And you know, if the house sells, you're happy to pay the $175. What's the difference? You're making a lot of money on that.
Oh, I thought you were talking the staging cost.
Oh, no, not staging.
You're
Now
talking
you're
just
talking
Now this is,
semi. You
yeah.
jump to.
Oh, they'd be all over your back. They'd be sitting in your front door.
That's what I mean.
Staging.
Yeah. You know,
Don't get involved in
six
staging
grand or
prices.
7 grand.
Yeah,
I
don't
mean,
get
No.
involved in that unless you're charging them
Hey,
extra.
There's some of them out there because we've got some competition from some of the companies. Compass is doing some crazy things.
Well, let me explain
Big
that too while we're here.
concierge.
Let's talk about that. Now, Compass has this plan that they're trying to sell.
It's called concierge.
Yeah, and it's a disaster. I'll tell you why. Talk to Mary Ann. What it is, they're putting out money, they're loaning the seller money to fix up their house. And so what happens at the closing, Compass hands them their commission bill and hands them the money they owe them for staging. And all of a sudden they see this check that Compass wants for $70,000 or whatever, and they freak. And they say, nobody ever gets what they think they're going to get. So a lot of people are saying, hey, you told me if I did this, I would get this much more money, and I'm not paying this. And then the agent winds up paying all a part of it.
Has it started
No.
yet? Because
Yeah.
it's relatively new.
Yeah, but
So
this
have
is,
there been cases?
yeah, oh yeah, talk to Mary Ann. She was talking about somebody the other day. I think it was her. Yeah, this is what happens. And see, here's the thing. The people at Compass were never in the real estate business. To them, it's just numbers. And you know and I know all the crazy situations we see over our careers and how many emotions are involved. And emotions never show up on a balance sheet. Of course they're going to pay us back. We'll loan them money. Their house will get more money and they'll be happy. It doesn't work that way. They're happy for about 5 minutes until they see the bill. And then they see what they're getting for their house. And who are they going to blame? They're not blaming themselves. They're blaming you. And
Don't they get the money and then they pay the
it
stagers?
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They still have to pay the money back.
Oh.
Don't you get it?
Oh,
At the closing.
yes, right.
Yeah, you get
right.
it, 2 bills. Like I said, you get your commission bill
Oh, yeah.
and then you get your staging bill.
Yeah. Got it.
And then you're supposed to pay, you're not just paying 30,000, you might be paying 60 or 70 or 80,000. And
I could see how that's a disaster.
It's a disaster.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
could see that.
disaster. And then if the
But-
house doesn't sell,
A lot of people still do share in, I mean, you probably know this better than anybody, share in staging fees. Agents.
They do.
Every situation is
It's
unique,
different, but
and
there
it's
are.
worked out differently.
But there are. And the problem is that it's infiltrating. Do you know that too, right? Yeah. And it's infiltrating to the public. So, people different companies go on these listing presentations and they're demanding, that you share in the staging expense. So it's kind of hard.
That staging expense for the homeowner is tax deductible, or their preparation fees. And all this information, anybody can go on to the Real Estate Staging Association and look at some YouTubes on why people should stage. I think the most important thing we all need to keep in mind, it has nothing to do with my staging firm or any other, is with the with the market we have right now in Connecticut and what's going on. If you have a buyer that comes in from New York City and they only have a quick weekend or out of town to look, they're going to go on the internet. They're going to look at 5 houses or 10 in a price range. They're going to pull the best looking houses. If your house isn't staged, you're not competing.
But what do you say to Elizabeth's comment about when people do ask that one
our
shares?
agents chipping in on this.
I know they are.
So then what
Well, let's
would
find
be
out
the answer
how
to
much
that?
and what's the percentage? I know some are, but what's the deal? How they do it?
That would really be something Susan would have to discuss. I don't really do those type of finances or deal with agents, so some of that could be proprietary. I'm sure you know.
But how would you answer something like that, though? Someone would want you to share the staging expense.
Well, she doesn't apparently know, so I'll address that.
Oh, sorry. I thought that's proprietary. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is, when we're realtors, because I'm a realtor also.
Right.
You go out and you take a listing, it's not the realtor's job to pay for the staging.
I
It's the
understand,
realtor's-
but
realtor's-
Elizabeth
it's the
said
realtor's-
that.
Let me answer the question.
Okay.
You're not answering. Let me answer the question. A lot of people, what they're doing is some people, when pose the question, are splitting it. And they'll make the seller put up the money and then they'll pay their half when the house gets sold.
Oh, yeah, but how if it doesn't stop?
Well, then you don't pay it.
And you have to set it up.
It's contingent upon you keeping the listing in the house selling.
Yeah.
Do you have a contract with them on
Yes.
that?
So
Yes.
that split then would be okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
it's up to the agent what to do,
Okay.
but you never want to put up your own money.
No.
Does that make sense?
It is, and I
But
have
then
to do it, quite
ask,
frankly.
make sure you
Um,
ask at least 5%,
Yeah.
or even ask 5 1/4, or keep a little bit. Don't give out
There's a
half.
negotiation piece.
Keep 2, keep
Oh, there's a
3.
big negotiation piece from the seller.
Yeah,
Because
keep
you're
3
like,
and
if
put
you
out
don't
2.
do it, XYZ is doing it. So when
Right.
you're in a listing, competition, you've got to decide what it is that they all want stuff.
And then how do you respond to that?
How
has that been for you in the
It
past?
depends on the situation. One, I said sorry, because I knew they were, pains in the rear and just want, and it's, it's
Yeah,
more
wouldn't
and
stop
more.
there.
Yeah.
The way to do it, like I say, you get your 5%, you're not taking less than that if you're going to be paying any staging. And don't hand out 2.5, hand out 2, and hopefully another 0.5% will cover what you're going to be
Well, it's
spending.
usually the people who want to whittle down the percentage also. They want to pay 5, they want to pay 4.
At some point, you just got to say, look,
Right, so
I'm
you
not
walk
your guy.
away, you walk away.
We're more interested in getting your house sold to the
Yeah.
highest value. Staging's going to help you.
Yeah.
And I've got too many houses, or I've got too much I'm dealing with right now. I can't dilute the product.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, and then I
Each
guess,
situation's
the
different.
uniqueness of Higgins then comes back with how the customers are acquired.
Yeah.
You want to show, you want this stuff, or do you want,
Right.
you're not getting this stuff and having me chip in for the staging and give you a lower percentage.
Right.
You got the wrong place then.
Right, we're not a
There's some discount
discount.
brokers
Yeah.
and what have you, or people that just don't have any business.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why they don't have any business. And if that's what you're willing to do, then that's fine. But you're looking at 6 or 8 months of waste of time.
I'm glad you brought that up. That was
Yeah,
a
it's a
really
good
important
It
point.
is good.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
gonna Always be something that's.
Yeah.
thrown at you.
And you're right, there are more and more people on this Compass thing. Just bear that in mind, that this Compass is a house of cards.
Yeah.
And if you read the Forbes magazine, I posted it on my Facebook page, the Forbes magazine article. It started with it's called SoftBank that's financing it.
Yeah.
And we work as a completely.
SoftBank, yeah, I was just
And
gonna
so
say it's
They
a
had a
disaster.
valuation and the IPO was a disaster because of the crazy valuation. Same thing is happening with Uber, the SoftBank, and same thing is happening
It's
with
happening
Compass.
with Compass?
Yeah, and Compass is with
Compass,
SoftBank. And Compass says we've raised $1.5 billion. Cross out word raised and say we borrowed $1.5 billion. And like the article says, at some point, the agents who were promised stock options are going to wonder why, what stock options, what's the worth of so much debt in front of it.
That's why my
And,
friend left it. Didn't
yeah,
go with
it's
them.
just, it's a house of cards. And then when that article came out, I hear there was a lot of panic in the New York office.
What
And I think,
article?
Ford magazine article
Will
about
you send it
Compass.
to me?
Yeah, it's on my Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't
just
know.
right.
When did that article
I don't
come
know,
out?
3 weeks ago, 2 weeks
Okay.
ago. And they're basically saying, we were Compass, a couple others, they're just a house of cards.
Mhm.
And it's like, remember the dot-com boom?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's putting these valuations.
Rick?
Using money.
Oh.
What, Rick?
Rick, sorry to interrupt. I have to step out and Amanda has to go as well. Are you guys okay with the slides?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, we're wrapping up.
Good.
Thanks so much, guys. Have a good weekend.
You
too.
Thank
too.
you.
Bye.
We're not gonna go out and say Compass is a house of cards. It's not
Right,
what
right,
to say.
No.
But in here, it is.
Yeah.
And it's like the valuation SoftBank, who was loaning the money to Compass, it had the same valuation that Zillow had. Compass is losing money. And then they had a higher valuation than Realogy. And Realogy has taken a 90% hit on their stock. It's gone down 90% in the last 5 years. And
Which stock?
Realogy that owns all these companies, Caldwell, Better Homes and Gardens, Century 21, Corcoran.
90% hit?
It's reduced by 90%. And they're making a small profit. And Compass is trying to act like they
Bye,
got a
Cheryl.
higher.
Bye,
See,
Cheryl. Take care.
Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you for coming.
Sorry, I've been in
That's
Thank
okay.
you.
Bye.
They're saying Compass has a higher valuation than Realogy. And Realogy is actually making a profit. Small, but a profit. And it's much larger. So that just, the numbers don't add up. And when they go through, the only way a place like Compass can get their money, or the bank get their money, is an IPO. Nobody's gonna buy the place, it's losing money. So when they go for their IPO, it's gonna happen like it did with WeWork. They look at the books.
Oh, yeah,
And they say, oh my God, this is a disaster.
Yeah.
And SoftBank loaned WeWork the money based upon a $45 billion evaluation. And it's worth a fraction of that.
WeWork is planning to let go 3,000 people.
Wow.
3,000 people. Could really crash the New York market.
Yeah, and it's like.
They won't be able to pay the rent either.
No.
It's a disaster, WeWork.
And I look at Compass now, out here. They rented that building where Save the Children was, the office building, they're taking a floor. You know, we spend about $200,000 here, and we've got maybe 75 to 100 agents in Westport.
Is that how David gave them the listing?
Yeah.
So they're renting his.
Yeah.
I didn't know their office.
We were supposed to have that for the condos next door, but that's okay, they're gonna be a disaster. $3 million condos next door. On Wilton Road are gonna fly, so I'm just glad to get out.
Wow.
But now we've got about 3 people in here on the average, and we're spending $200,000. Their office is twice as big, they're spending $400,000, and they hardly have any agents. So, I mean, that just shows you where it's at. They've never been through a recession. Wait till the first recession comes with them having this expense. The last thing they're gonna worry about is the suburban offices. You know, they're the first ones to get killed. Well, anyway, so did we get enough done? Did everybody?
Yeah, it was great.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
So good.
Amazing.
Was it worthwhile?
Very.
Okay.
I
It's
feel
so
like
good.
we cut you short.
No, it was all part of it. This is how we
Okay.
play off of
Okay.
each other.
Yeah, it was really great.
It's all
Everybody
part of
still
it.
there?
No, they're gone. They're all gone.
Rick, my daughter had to go to the
Great to meet
doctor,
you.
so I'm gonna go and meet
Oh,
with her in the
You
city.
need a ride?
I just got a lift.
Thank you,
Very
Kelly.
interesting, good.
You,
Jen.
you want me to take it?
Do you mind?
No, of course not.
Okay.
Not mine.
Oh, what
Yeah,
is it?
sure.
Oh, my God.
Anytime.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather ride with you.
I also want you to come to
He's not.
a listing with me.
Of course.
Change.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Oh no, he texted me actually.
Bye.
Yeah,
Take
he said
care.
in an hour, so I just texted her and I said I'll get back to you in the hour. It's another one. It's one in Westport. I think it was like a little under. It was like
No, this
yeah. I just got it.
nice to
Westport.
meet you too. Take care.
And then there's this guy in Stanford. His house was like 1.1. Yeah, and then I'm trying. He texted me a couple days ago and said I talked to
This is
him.
how we do it.
And then I never heard back from him. So I'm following up. So I'll see if
And definitely relatable. Yeah, which made me feel good. You know, a lot of what you were saying, I agree.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. And come back. I mean, we do this twice a month.
Ciao, my friend. I have a,
Did you ever think about hiring an office manager, an experienced real estate agent to manage a Trumbull office? Because she was interested.
Probably no.
I have a big question.
They want too much money.
You know, so many people here talk
Yeah.
about schools.
Yeah,
I
'cause
live
there's
in
nobody
Westport.
really managing.
And when I was
No,
down
it's
there,
a satellite
and I
office.
thought that was illegal.
We're there when they need us.
Really? Ask Rick.
Yeah. I don't
Rick,
know.
do people like, so many agents talk about schools?
You know what, I gotta get her to Frank.
Okay.
We'll talk about
You're
that.
you're not allowed though, bottom line, right? To talk about schools?
Is it illegal to talk about?
I mean, I
You can
tried
talk
learning
about
to
schools. You just gotta be a little careful about it. Don't say one school's great, the only thing. You gotta-
It was a long time ago, and they both got very complicated and convoluted, and there were not likely closed yet, but right now, hold on. Come on. Right now, he's got both, so I don't think it's gonna be closing. Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's just like barbecue. I think, yeah, I think it's very easy. I like it. All right, but I'd just be a little concerned, but so if Kate's in that price point now, I'm gonna start looking a little differently for that, because I thought you were for the 4x60. Okay, because there's just there's no profit in that range. That's it. Let me take a look through and see if there's anything that's more sensible. Okay. Yeah, but I haven't been looking at the higher price point, so let me try that. Okay. All right. Thanks, Hannah. Okay, bye.
The reality is. Good, my house. You set me up for that. I do Windows on computers, that's it.
Uh-huh.
Good.